there's this guy. So like, it's really easy to tell. So the idea is that according to their math, the sun and the moon rotate around the Earth through the different gates through between the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn. And they do that, and that creates the seasons and stuff like that. And then there's the moon, and it has its own light or something like that. And I don't know. It depends, because some of them say it has its own light, and some of them say it doesn't. So I guess this wouldn't convince them, because they are
So
fucking crazy.
are you trying to tell me that the flat earthers do not have a uniform belief?
No,
A
they do not have a
uniform,
uniform belief, because a lot of times their math falls apart when trying to come up with a
yeah.
map. The map is like their biggest issue.
Well, that and the sun doesn't have a lampshade on it, so it just doesn't work on a
That's
flat
true.
Earth.
I just
So
like, y'all could have just stopped at being like NASA's doing shifty shit. Y'all didn't have to go this fucking far.
they basically ruined your theory about NASA doing criminal activities in space.
Yeah, I have a theory, and I've had a theory for a long time, that NASA does unethical experimentation in space. I don't know the extent of it, but I know it's something they wouldn't want to advertise. Okay? And I believe this
So
because,
you're saying they're not spending $1 gazillion to see what happens when you turn a bubble machine on in space.
yeah, they're not spending $600 billion to see if the bubble machine produces bubbles in space.
Okay. Well, what else could they possibly be doing with that money?
Well, there's one guy, and they brought him up, and he played his ukulele guitar hybrid, and he's like, I have 3 of them. I brought 3 of these things up here. And I'm like, I know that it costs $1 million per kilogram to send something into space. So the ships are like bare bones, their food supplies are very, well curated. I know they can bring personal items, but when you're trying to argue with me that it's $1 million to bring a kilogram of weight, and you're trying to tell me that this dude managed to bring 3 guitars,
Right.
that's when
Well,
I get a little
they're
suspicious.
ukuleles, right? Are they guitars?
No, they're like the size of guitars, but they're like
Do they
ukulele. It's I don't know. It's weird.
do they even work in space?
They work in space. They don't work outside of the space station. But since the space station contains air, yes, they work in space.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I thought in space no one could hear you scream or play ukulele.
No, they especially can't hear you play ukulele. But like one of the things. So I have this theory that the ISS that they broadcast is not the same ISS that is floating in the sky that you can track optically. Right? You get a telescope. You can look at the sky at the right time, and you can just see the International Space Station just buzz through the sky.
Hanging out.
Yeah, just hanging out.
Out there.
And so the flat earthers will be like, it's a plane, it's a drone, it's a balloon. I'm like, no, probably not.
It's Apollo in his chariot.
Yeah, it's Apollo in his chariot. No, I mean,
Yeah.
it looks like the ISS. If you have a good enough telescope and a clear enough day, you can actually see like that. It's like rectangular. You can see the solar panels and stuff like that. You can
Yeah,
you
but
can tell.
you're saying when they broadcast from the ISS and you see them inside this thing playing ukulele, that's not really on board the ISS. Your conspiracy theory is that there's a set somewhere.
Yes, yeah, and I think it's probably the set that they talk about exists.
Yeah.
It's probably the one where we're like, did you know we have an exact scale model of the ISS underwater? They'll just say it. It's like it's in a big pool, and they'll do
Yeah.
it to train and shit like that. And I'm sure they just have like a room somewhere or a set somewhere in the building where you can see activities outside the ISS and then you can see activities inside the ISS, depending on where where they need to film.
So
But
you're thinking that what they're actually doing is, since they are in space, right, and outside of the jurisdiction of any nation's laws, that they're conducting like horrid experiments up there.
yeah, probably. Yeah, I would assume they definitely things the
Like
public would not approve of. Sending
they're making
$25
like
billion per year.
human cat hybrids up there or something cool like that.
Yeah, something cool like that. And so,
Right.
and I have a few reasons. A lot of it's like video footage. You have like the cables. You can see like people are like you can see glitches in how they mask the wire pulleys. If you go to a movie set and you see like a stunt performer, they have all these wires and it's to mimic low gravity, and they do all these somersaults in them. You have a lot of free movement. Well, you can see the wires in glimpses in this footage.
So you're basically a flat earther.
Exactly. That's why I hate them. That's why I hate flat earth. I hate the psyop, because as soon as I and a few other people started asking questions about, hey, what's actually going on in the ISS? This is incompatible footage. This doesn't make sense. Why aerosolized hairspray is not allowed in the containment unit because it's extremely flammable, and yet you have this woman with really long hair that literally just doused her hair in.
You have a bunch of critiques about the stuff that is in these videos,
Yes, yeah, sorry,
and
yeah.
that makes you a flat earther.
It makes me
Is
a
what you're
flat
saying.
earther. Yes, yes. It's because the
Right.
psyop is I can't ask questions about NASA's activities anymore because they are just going to say that I believe that the entire shape of the Earth is different.
Right. It doesn't. It's not that the hair looks funny. You're like, oh, this hair looks funny. You flat Earth piece of shit. That's basically what happens,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Oh,
And
I
it's
bet you've
not
been
even.
to the ice wall. You know,
Yeah.
I'm just like,
Yeah.
dude. So you can't talk about anything anymore NASA related. Any critique is just like, what are you, a flat earther?
Yeah.
I'm just like,
That's how it
you know what?
works.
I guess that's how it works. I believe that they're doing this totally doable, realistic thing with
Yeah.
all of their astronauts who are Freemasons, by the way. Not that that means anything, but
It's kind of like when
they
I say,
are.
you're depressed because your life sucks and taking drugs isn't going to make your life not suck. And they go, what are you, an anti vaxxer?
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
anytime you
It's like,
criticize
no.
Big Pharma,
Yeah,
you're
anytime
just
you
a,
criticize taking a medication, or maybe
yeah,
maybe I shouldn't do this to artificially like try to hijack my executive function when I could
right.
actually just get through it, maybe eat better, maybe sleep more,
Work out,
work
get a
out.
better job, tell your boss to fuck himself,
Yeah,
improve your
exactly.
life. We
I
don't
could
want you
improve my
to
life.
improve your life
And then they're
if
just
you're
like,
depressed.
what are you anti-vax? I bet you don't even take Tylenol anymore.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Some shit like that. So anyway, yeah, like one of the things is crazy. So the flat earthers like unilaterally believe that some of them believe that there are two moons and two suns because it makes the math work better, which is funny.
Oh.
And then some of them just believe in the one moon and one sun. But it's like, okay, I'm looking at the moon and sun outside, right?
Hmm.
And allegedly, you're saying that the sun is 30 miles wide and 3,000 miles above the Earth. And that's how you can see the size ratios between the two. That's how close they are to the surface of the Earth and everything like that. Sure, fucking whatever. But if you take, there's this clip that I found really interesting. There's this guy took a ping pong ball. He went outside while the sun was out and the moon was out. He took the ping pong ball and he puts it in the air. and he holds it up, and it looks exactly like the moon. The way the sunlight is hitting the ball, and the way the sunlight is hitting the moon is identical.
Okay.
And I just think that's interesting because with a model where both of these spheres are 30 miles wide, 3,000
That's
miles up,
impossible.
that's impossible. You wouldn't get parallel light
Right.
like that. So it's it's either the sun has to be way farther so that the moon and the ping pong ball, which are both like 300,000 miles apart, or even 3,000 miles apart, but either way,
Yeah.
it doesn't work. Either way, it doesn't create the light hitting the thing.
Right. Yeah.
So, even if you do like the sun is a spotlight, that's why there's heavier transitions between light and day, or the sun is this type of light or that type of light. No matter what you do or what you say,
The sun has to be far away in order
the sun
for
has
the
to be
light.
far away. It has to be so far that 3,000 miles of distance at minimum,
nothing.
assuming the moon is 3,000 miles or even 12,000 miles of distance, is nothing because it is identical. And you can look it up. Just look up ping pong moon or things like that. You can look it up. It's crazy.
No, I
dude.
believe it. Yeah.
It's
I know,
really
it makes
funny because he
perfect sense.
pulls out this ping pong ball. It's like, oh look, it's the moon. It looks exactly like the moon.
Right.
So it's pretty neat. And he was basically just explaining. He wasn't even doing like an anti-flat Earth video. He was just doing a demonstration. He's like, oh, the moon doesn't the moon like changing the way the light looks is just kind of an illusion. It's or the dark side of the moon, it's not like it disappears. It's actually just shaded. And I'll prove it. I'll put a ping pong ball in the air. I was like, oh look, it looks like the moon. That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the moral of the story is conspiracies suck.
Yeah, they ruin any
They ruin critical
criticism.
thinking. They ruin legitimate criticism about institutions
Anything.
that have flaws that you could actually make critiques about, and they go so bombastic, so much bullshit, so flamboyant, so absurd that you become basically a societal pariah. You become like an enemy of the public.
So it becomes to where either you believe everything the institution says, or you are a retard,
or you're crazy, yeah, or you're insane.
You're an
And
insane
that's
person.
the point. And that's why I think
Yeah.
a lot of these movements are psychological operations, because it makes sense that a government so focused on curated speech, and forming, like the status quo and the general consensus and manufactured consent among the public, would do something like that. Would be like, oh wait,
Yeah,
actually, this is the big critique. Let me just make up a theory so bombastic that anyone who even questions the institution, me questioning NASA, dude. I have a model of the fucking Saturn V in my living room. Okay?
You're a nerd.
Yeah, I'm a nerd. I'm a big NASA nerd. I like NASA.
Established.
The flat earthers hate me because I like NASA. The pro NASA people think I'm a flat earther because I'm like, well, this is fake.
Well, I mean, the idea is like, if I take a shit in my bathtub, my wife will get really mad, right?
Yeah.
But if the tub was already full of shit, she won't even notice.
What?
Yeah.
What?
What I'm trying to say is all the conspiracy theorists are pooping in the tub.
Yeah.
Like that's the psyop. If I shit in the tub, my wife's gonna be like, "What the fuck?" But if the tub was already full of shit, she won't even notice that I shit in the tub. So all these conspiracy theorists are just shitting the tub full of shit. That's my point.
Yeah.
It's a good analogy if you think about it. Okay?
If you think about it and then decide to stop thinking about it.
Just think about it.
Just think about it and then
would you
stop
just think about it?
Would you just consider?
Just consider the possibility that Alex Jones is a CIA operative who discredits everything.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, fucking 9/11 is a perfect example of this. And no one can say too soon because it's been a quarter of a century. So
Well, we could go to the JFK assassination. There's 4,000 theories about that. There's a
yeah,
million theories about the fake moon landing. There's a million theories about how steel beams can't melt jet fuel. It's
it
everything.
melted you.
It's everything that is like seems crazy that the deep state, dark state, whatever state may be wants you to believe this crazy narrative. Everything that is like that has a bazillion retarded theories that are easily disproven surrounding it. You know?
Yeah, and the point is to be able to disprove these pretty easily. So again, the public consensus is that anyone who asks questions about this is crazy. They are a pariah. They are like clinically
They are
insane.
pooping in the
They are
bathtub.
shitting in the tub.
They're shitting in America's bathtub.
And so basically, like 9/11. 9/11 is a great example because people have gone so far as to say the planes are holograms. There were never any planes. They doctored all the footage. There were
Yeah.
never any planes. There were actually secret nukes. This is real. Like, it's not true, but it's real that people believe this.
I was gonna say, this is real?
Yeah, this is real. This happened.